Very good morning, students. Our session of corporate finance. Now, as far as our previous session was concerned, in that we already discussed about the stable dividend policy. So, now in today's session, we are going to discuss the another form of dividend policy, that is irregular, or we can say that flexible dividend policy. The name itself suggests when the dividend policy is not stabilized by the management, when they are not promised to pay a fixed amount to the shareholders. So that policy is known as flexible dividend policy. It may happen that in some case when the organization earning goes up, at that time they are declaring maximum rate of dividend to their shareholders. And when in another case, if the earning goes down, at that time the management will not pay a single penny to their shareholders. So when there is no uniform policy in the dividend policy, the dividend is paid as per the choice of the management. If they wishes to pay, then definitely they are going to declare the dividend policy. And if they do not want to pay any dividend, so in the same year they are not declaring any kind of dividend to their shareholders. Generally, this kind of dividend policy is adopted by those organizations whose earning is fluctuating. When the earning is not stabilized, then how they can declare a proper dividend policy? Again, the irregular dividend policy is adopted by those organizations who are new in the market, whose earning is not very much high, they are not able to earn maximum. So this is the dividend policy for those organizations whose earning is not stable, and the organization who is in the introduction stage. So now let's discuss it. A policy of changing rates or amount of dividend is response to change in firm's earning is termed as irregular or flexible dividend policy. The management does not insist on fixed rate of dividend or fixed amount of dividend per share. Here, nothing is fixed, nothing is formalized by the organization. The rate of dividend, the amount of dividend per share is decided as per the earning capacity of the organization. So now let's see, there are few advantages of irregular dividend policy. Under that, the first one is the management has complete freedom to declare dividend. Yes, there is no such burden on the management that they are going to declare the particular rate of dividend in the particular year. Then after, the next one is equity shareholders are the real risk bearers of the company's business. They can entitle to share the prosperity of the business. Yes, when the earning goes up, then they are able to maximize their earning by accepting the maximum dividend from the shareholders. Then after, the third one is the share prices of companies following flexible dividend policy would fluctuated. Yes, there is a fluctuation in the share prices of the organization whose dividend policy is not stable. Then after, the next one, the rate of dividend under this policy is determined on the basis of company's earning and its need for finance for expansion. Yes, the rate is decided by present earning of the firm. If the earning is moderate, then they are declaring the dividend at the minimum level. And if the earning is maximum, so at that time they are declaring the highest dividend to their shareholders. Then after, next one, the policy of changing dividend rate is more practical as well as logical. Yes, it is quite acceptable that the flexible dividend policy must adopted by the organization. If the stable dividend policy is there, so at that time no change is going to happen, or the shareholders do not accept any change when the organization declare stable dividend policy. But flexible dividend policy, the rate of dividend is going to be decided on the basis of market response. Whatever the market is going to respond, on the same basis they are going to declare the dividend. So somehow in today's scenario, the irregular or flexible dividend policy is best for the organization. So that's about the irregular dividend policy. Now then, after the next point, that is legal provision regarding payment of dividend. Here we are going to discuss the legal provisions of Companies Act, that is regarding payment of dividend. At the time of declaring dividend, at the time of paying dividend to our shareholders, organization needs to follow the basic provisions, the legal provisions of Companies Act at the time of declaring the dividend and paying the dividend to their shareholders. There are few restrictions at the time of paying the dividend. So now let's discuss the provisions one by one. The first one is source of dividend. Yes, out of which source the dividend is paid to the shareholders. So first one, that the company is entitled to pay the dividend out of the net profit of the organization after declaring or after providing the depreciation as per the rules and regulations on fixed assets. Yes, company cannot declare dividend before the declaration of depreciation. Then after, the company may pay dividend for any previous financial year, or when the profit is going to be carry forward from the last year. At that time, the company first declare depreciation and then after paid dividend from the remaining amount. Then after, the company is going to declare a dividend out of monies provided by the government for the payment of dividend in pursuance of guarantee given by the government. So this is the first provision, that out of which source the company is going to declare the dividend. Then after, the second one is calculation of profit. Yes, there are few restrictions on the calculation of profit which is available for the distribution as dividend. Now, as we already know that it is mandatory for the organization to provide for depreciation on fixed assets. If depreciation has not been provided for any previous year, it has to be first provided before paying dividend. So first and foremostly, the depreciation must be provided with the proper rate, and then after, out of the remaining amount, the dividend is going to be declared. The next one is transfer to reserve. Now, it is a legal provision that no dividend shall be declared by the organization out of the profit except after the transfer to the reserve of such percentage of its profit that is not exceeding 10% to the reserve. That, in a nutshell, we can say that when the company declare dividend, so first they are making the provision for their general reserve. So it is a legal provision that company is not liable to make the provision exceeding 10% to the general reserve. So whenever company is declaring dividend or transfer their profit to general reserve, the maximum limit is 10%. So within this 10%, the company is transferring their profit to the general reserve. Then after, dividend out of reserve. Now it is a legal provision of Companies Act 2013 that the organization is not allowed to pay the dividend out of their reserve. Company is not liable to use their reserve for the payment of dividend. The next one is how to pay and whom to pay. Generally, the dividend is paid in two different forms, the cash form and the stock form. Then when the company declares dividend, they may either declare cash dividend or stock dividend, that is known as bonus share. And whom to pay? Here the company is pay dividend to their registered shareholder. Means the shareholders who are registered in the company's registered, that shareholders are liable to get the dividend. Then after, period for dividend. Yes, when the company declares dividend, so at the time of declaration, it is compulsory for the organization, that is to pay dividend within the 30 days from the date of declaration. So it is compulsory for the organization, that is to pay dividend within 30 days from the date of declaration. Then after, unpaid dividend. Suppose in any case, if the dividend is declared but has not been paid within the 30 days from the date of declaration, at that time the company shall within 7 days from the date of expiry of the said period of 30 days, and the whole amount is transferred to the special account, that is unpaid dividend account of XYZ Company Limited in any scheduled bank. Again, સિમ્પલ લેંગ્વેજમાં રિપીટ કરું છું. કોઈ પણ કેસમાં કંપનીએ એક વખત ડિવિડન્ડ ડિક્લેર કરી દીધેલું અને 30 ડેઝની અંદર જો કંપની પેમેન્ટ નથી કરતા ડિવિડન્ડનું, તો 30 ડેઝના કમ્પ્લીશનના 7 ડેઝ પછી, એટલે વિધિન ધ 7 ડેઝ, 7 દિવસની અંદર કંપની એ ડિવિડન્ડની બધી અમાઉન્ટ એક શેડ્યુલ બેંકમાં સેપરેટ અકાઉન્ટ ઓપન કરી અને એમાં ટ્રાન્સફર કરશે. એ અકાઉન્ટનું નામ હશે અનપેડ ડિવિડન્ડ અકાઉન્ટ. હવે વિધિન ધ 7 ડેઝ, એટલે પહેલાં 30 ડેઝની ટાઈમ લિમિટ આપેલી છે, પછી 7 ડેઝની ટાઈમ લિમિટ આપેલી છે. એટલે એ 7 ડેઝમાં જો કંપની પ્રોપર મેનરમાં ડિવિડન્ડ પે નથી કરતું, તો અગેન એ અનપેડ ડિવિડન્ડ ઉપર કંપનીએ 12% ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ રેટ પે કરવો પડશે. And it is mandatory for the organization who has been dealing with these kind of unpaid dividend. And the last one is dividend or unclaimed for 7 years. Dividend unclaimed for 7 years. If the company fails to pay dividend for the period of 7 years from the date of such transfer to the unpaid dividend account. So at that time, after the completion of 7 years, the whole amount shall be transferred by the company to the Investor Education and Protection Fund, which is established by the central government. And now the central government take the responsibility of this unclaimed dividend for the 7 years. And now central government distribute the dividend on the behalf of the organization. So if such dividend is unclaimed, unpaid, unclaimed for the 7 years, at that time the whole responsibility is taken by the central government, and now central government is going to distribute the dividend on the behalf of organization. So that's all about our session, and that's all about our unit number 4, that is dividend decision. So here we are ending our last unit, that is dividend decision. So till now we have completed 3 units and 5 different chapters. That unit number 2 is about working capital management, then unit number 3 is about inventory management, cash management and receivable management, and the last unit is about the dividend decision. So here we have completed our 3 units. So in the next session we are going to discuss our next unit and our last unit, that is unit number 1. It is about capital budgeting. So that's all for today's session. I think it is clear to everyone, that is dividend decision. So thank you students, thank you so much.